Shalom, shalom. This is Falling Yoshua. Welcome back to The Rock. It's cold outside again, so I'm inside again. Now, I do my work outside, but I don't like doing my videos outside because I'm just walking around, and I don't get to stay warm holding a camera up on my hand and walking around, so I do the videos inside while I still work outside. But anyways, one of the things, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm telling you something that would be wise to put some money into. Your stimulus check. What I'm doing. How about that? What I'm doing. Food. Food. And here's why. For those of you who have been on my channel for some time, you've seen the video I did. I did it in 2019 or 2020. And I opened up a 10-year bucket of rice. 10-year-old bucket of rice. I think I had packaged it in 2010. 2009. And the rice was perfectly fine. Now that 5-gallon bucket of rice, I packaged, and during that time in 2010, I paid $11.89 for a 50-pound bag of rice from Winco. That's in Southern California. It's a grocery store, Winco. A 50-pound bag of rice for $11.89. Right here, I have a 20-pound bag of rice. In this 20-pound bag of rice, I paid $8.98 for a 20-pound bag of rice. So that means, let's just say, roughly $9. Well, it's 20 pounds, so 40 pounds, you're at 18 bucks. Let's add another 10 pounds, let's say $4.50. We're at $22.50 for the same 50 pounds of rice. This is why I would say food is one of the best investments that I make in regards to my house, because you're going to eat it. Not just food, but the supplies to either can the food or protect the food. Mylar bags, I have some down right here. Canning supplies. You notice that the Mylar bags have gone up in price. Canning jars are hard to find. And those sellers on Amazon, they're asking for an arm and a leg for canning supplies. So food and the ability to store food. Grain mills, I have a country living grain mill right here. They're going up in price. Anything that is food, water filters are going up in price. Anything that is food related has gone up in price because everybody knows food is what you need. Now, I know some people that say, well, I want to sit on my money and hold on it. Obviously food is determined on, do you have a place to store the food? And do you have adequate housing? You want to make sure you take care of those things first. But if you have some extra funds or are even looking for something to invest in, investing in yourself, investing in food is one of the wisest things you can do, because food prices are going to go up. It's a guarantee. It's a guarantee that food prices are going to go up. It's a guarantee you're going to eat food. Without food, without water, you die. You die. The ability to store food. Without that, your food will go bad. So storing it properly. Without that, and food can be seeds to grow your gardens. Food can be chickens to have eggs. Food can be, you see the two incubators right now? They're going. Oh, you can't see inside that one. Nah, maybe you can see in there. Food. And protein, vegetables, and gardens. Gardens are a great investment. Having the right tools to work your gardens. Animals, of course, now this is obviously based on where you live, but animals allow you to provide compost, manure, nutrients for your gardens. But food, not televisions, not, I would even say for myself, this is for myself, food is more important than silver. Because most people are going to end up spending that silver on food. Now, am I an advocate of having silver? Absolutely. But there are people out here who have guns and ammunition and are going to end up selling those guns and ammunition to get food. Am I an advocate in having tools to protect yourself? Absolutely. But food we can always track. We can always see the serving sizes have gotten smaller. We can see the serving sizes have gotten smaller while the food prices have gone up. Flour, was, let's just say $2 for 5 pounds. Now it's $2.50 for 4 pounds. Your bags of chips that people still buy are full of air. Milk prices have gone up. All these things have gone up in price. Food. You need to eat. And even if you don't have to use the food right now, imagine having, as I learned, imagine having, let's just throw out a number, 5,000 pounds of rice stored up. Let's just say, let's throw out a number, 5,000 pounds of rice stored up. Do you know how much you saved if you've had that rice stored up for 3, 4, 5 years, and we continue to watch the price of food go up and up? You see, if you sit on your money, and I understand, you want to have savings, you want to have, some money on hand, 6 months worth of bills or whatever it may be, 3 months, whatever people, do today, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, I don't know. Having that on hand to pay your bills in case something bad happens is a great idea. But just sitting on a ton of cash, the value of money is dropping. It's dropping. So if you have $100 in the bank and you're just letting it sit there, that $100, the return on that $100 is actually going to be less than the return if you spent that $100 on food. On food. Food is not as volatile as the stock market. You're going to get an increase. It's going to be worth more in a year than it is today, as long as you store it right. Your gardens are going to pay for themselves many times over. You pay for the tools, you pay for some of the seeds. It's going to rise and going to be worth more and more and more. Food is the answer. Coming out. If you got some extra, why not buy? And then again, this is only what I would do. Why not buy an acre of land? If you can afford it. Why not come out and have an area to plant a nice sized garden, have some chickens, have some goats, and be able to store your food? One of the questions I get oftentimes from people is, how do I store enough food in an apartment? And you can store enough food. One of the problems I've always learned is, in apartments, unless you plan on staying there long term, how do you protect that food? And how do you, you're going to be in a position to oftentimes having to move hundreds of pounds. Let me tell you, moving hundreds of pounds of food, even a couple times a year, or once a year is not fun. It is not fun. Moving, 1,500 pounds of rice and 1,000 pounds of beans and 200 pounds of sugar or 500 pounds of salt. That's not fun. So having a place to store it permanently, that's where coming out comes in. Storing it right, having the supplies, Mylar bags and canning jars, canning lids. I've been stocking up on canning lids and the rings. Stocking up on them. This is where wise money can be spent if you want to see a guaranteed return. A guaranteed return, because not only is it going to return if you are growing your gardens, you're going to get a return in the nutrient value. Just in growing your own food and canning your own food, you're going to get a heavy return. As you see, the canning jars have diminished because we eat it. We eat it. You've got to learn to invest in yourself. You've got to learn to invest in your food, and you have to learn to stimulate your economy. Save yourself money. If you put that food back, if you put back 100, 200 pounds today, it's going to be worth more in a year than it was today. Inflation is coming. It is coming. Put your money in the wise things. You need a ladder? Get a ladder. If that ladder is going to help you build and accomplish tasks, on your home, in your home, on your homestead. Do it. Don't sit back. Don't spend that money. Now, if you've got an unlimited amount of money, and this is not for you, but I get a lot of questions from people, and I don't want to be their financial advisor, so I'm not being their financial advisor. I'm telling you what I would do. Invest in you. Food is a great investment. The ability to store, process, and put back. Food, you know, you're looking for buckets. One of the things that you can do, go to a donut shop. I've done this, I don't know how many times. Go to a donut shop. Why? Because they get their jellies and custards in buckets. Ask them, can you buy some buckets from them? I've bought 3-gallon and 5-gallon food grade buckets, literally for $0.25 a piece with the lid. $0.25 a piece, and they'll be rinsed out. $0.25 a piece for a bucket. Food grade bucket, because they want to get rid of them. I've gone to some places that got them for free. I'll ask him, or, you know, he'll say, hey, you know, he'll have like 30 buckets or 50 buckets back then. He'll say, hey, I'll sell you, you know, these buckets for $5. Just take them all. I just got 50 buckets, 20 buckets, 30 buckets for $5. You've got to be smart in these times. You have to learn how to be wise with what you are given. Be like the wise servant. Don't go bury your money in the dirt. If you get it, praise Yah. Now be wise with it. Because food, at the end of the day, is the one thing we all need. And we need good, healthy food. That's where you grow. So you don't have to be worried about, well, the rice has no nutrient value other than calories. Because you're growing your food, and you can put your greens, your tomatoes, your green beans on top of that rice, and you've got a meal. You don't necessarily have to buy Progresso, because you can make Progresso. Things to think about. Spend your money wisely. Spend your stimulus checks wisely. Wisely. And invest in you. Invest in food. That is what I would do. Bless y'all. Have a blessed day. Blessed 6th day. Hopefully I'll see you tonight, 6:15 Central Standard Time with my brothers for our, 7-day night live stream or Friday night live stream. Shalom.